When I got back from the States in 2003, there weren't really any pilot jobs to get to. So it was a difficult time. I know there were a lot of my colleagues from the flight school that took just easy jobs like in the stores or driving even cabs or whatever, and someone got back to school. So it was a very difficult time. I was lucky to go back into the Air Force. So I think you definitely need to have a plan B. The pilot market is better today, but it changes like you never know when the next downhill slope will come. So you have to be prepared.
When I completed my training, the job market was exactly how I expected it to be. And that was because I had spent years researching airline recruitment patterns. So I was always told that there's three big hurdles throughout your training. The first one is finding the finance. The second one is getting through the training. And the third one is getting a job. The second that I finished all my training, I was on a massive low, because although I'd completed the second hurdle, I knew the last hurdle was the hardest one to get over. Between October and April, that's when the airlines tend to do most of their recruitment. So when I was setting my timescales and coming up with my plan of when I wanted to complete my training, where I wanted to do it and all that sort of stuff, I said to myself, I want to finish my training around August or September. And then I picked a year. And the year that I picked was based on a number of things. I knew that airlines tended to recruit in a reasonably high spike every 5 years, because most pilots would stay at an airline for 5 years and then move to another airline. What I also happened to find during the research was that 35 years ago, there was a mass recruitment drive. And all those people that were taken on 35 years ago were now retiring, which meant there was a massive gap in the market, but also that it coincided with a 5-year spike. So you had a double-barreled effect. So I set 2016 as the year that I wanted to finish my training, and I said August, September 2016. I finished my training on the 7th of September 2016, and 2 weeks later I had a job.
How did the job market hit me, and was it like I expected it to be? I didn't expect it like that. It's probably different for others because they have to look on a much broader scale. But nevertheless, I had the challenge that there were many offers, but I had to choose a way which could be indefinite. And so everybody asked me if I'm silly because I had some offers which I declined and then chose others in favor. But in the end, I don't regret my choices.
When I hit the job market, I finished flight school in August 2001. And as everybody knows, the next month something terrible happened in the world, 9/11. So when I sent out all my letters to all the airlines for a job, everything came back because all the airlines decided not to hire any more pilots for the next time. So it was really difficult to get a job for me at the moment. So I spent about 2 years in different functions in aviation just to keep in touch with the profession. And after 2 years, finally a job came by for me.
Finding a job as an airline pilot is a little bit more complicated task where you have to invest also more money. In preparing for the theory exams, you need to get the question banks, which is also more money. You have to prepare for the simulators, which are also very expensive. One session can cost about 200 euros. So you also have to invest even more money to get into an airline, and then for the type rating if you eventually get in. And that is, for example, in certain airlines that you don't have to pay for the exams. But there are some other airlines where you actually have to pay to do the selection process. So yes, it is, let's say, an additional cost to try to get into an airline, which would be also good to note, to tell to the new generations that they also have to count with this.